Hi besties, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my first ever 24-hour readathon. I've got a very exciting stack of books here that I'm just eager to get to, and I thought what better to do on my days off work to try and read as many books as physically possible. So I have this stack of books with me that I thought we could pick from, and then I do also have my Kindle with me. So I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to pause the timer every time I stop reading so we can see exactly how much I can read in a whole 24-hour span. I don't feel like reading for 24 hours straight, if I'm being honest. So we're going to do it this way and I'm so excited. So let's pick our first book and get the timer going. I thought I would talk to you about this book while I get ready. I started reading Lights Out by Novessa Allen. This is a dark stalker romance. I am 3 hours into the 24-hour readathon and I'm only 100 pages into this book. I don't know if it was because I was reading so late at night and I was tired, or if it's because the writing, like the font in that book is so small, but I feel like I'm reading it just so slowly. But I am really thoroughly enjoying it so far. So we have two main characters, Ali and Josh. Ali is a trauma nurse at a hospital and Josh is a hacker, cybersecurity genius person. I have no idea. But in his spare time, Josh posts like thirst trap videos in a mask. You know those videos you see around Halloween of like topless men in like ghost face masks? That's Josh. And Ali is obsessed with his videos. And then Josh starts noticing Ali's comments on his page. It's giving Haunting Adeline in the sense that like he breaks into her house and is like kind of messing with her, like he posts a thirst trap on his TikTok in her bedroom while she's at work. It's not funny, it's actually very serious. So he set up like cameras and stuff in her house, but because her house was so easy for him to break into, he sent her a whole security system because he doesn't want anyone else to be able to break in, because it was so easy for him to break in. And because she works in a hospital, she works really long nights, and he's hacked into the hospital camera system so he can watch her at work, and he knows she's had a really long night at work, so he breaks into her car, preheats the seat and brings her snacks, which in reality is just not funny, is it? It's not cute, like someone breaks into your car. But he just wanted her to be warm and they're in the middle of a snowstorm, so he was like, she needs to get home safe, I need to get her home safe, she's not driving. So he breaks into her car to drive her home safe, but gives her weapons to protect herself against him. Tell me that's not cute. He might be a stalker, he might be breaking into her property, but tell me that's not cute. So that's where I'm up to so far. You know what you're getting yourself into. There's a full 2 pages of trigger warnings. But he's just so funny. Like, she's obviously mad at him for breaking into her house and setting up cameras and watching her. And he's just like, oh my god, our first fight, how cute. He's so funny. But what kind of a name for a main character is Josh? No thanks. A lot of people recommended this to me because they said it's for people who like Butcher and Blackbird, and that is one of my all-time favourite books. I will say, in the way that it's a dark romance, but it's also a rom-com, like it's funny but in the most serious and traumatic way. In that sense it's like Butcher and Blackbird, but I would so far compare it more to Haunting Adeline in the way he's like stalking her and breaking into her house and like hacking into cameras to watch her and stuff. Also, if you can see all the mess behind me, it's the day after Boxing Day, and I think we can all collectively agree that the days in between Christmas and New Year just blur into one. So I have been sat rotting in my bed I've got my stocking full of chocolate tipped out on my bed that I've just been munching on. So I did switch over to my Kindle, and I definitely started reading it faster when I switched over to my Kindle. Anyway, that's my update. We're 100 pages in, and we've got 21 hours left. Or just over 21 hours left. I feel like I've just yapped on for about 10 minutes about probably absolutely nothing. All of that to say, thoroughly enjoying this. Gonna continue reading. I will give you updates at some point, I don't know. He literally stabbed him by accident and then stitched his hand up and saved the swabs with the DNA on, with a note saying, if anything happens to me, this is the killer's blood. Like, why is she so smart and being so stupid at the same time? Like, what? Thought I'd give you an update. So I am on page 240, which is chapter 18, and we have just under 16 hours left. I am absolutely devouring this book. It is immaculate. Josh and Ali are now officially boyfriend and girlfriend. The book has taken a turn, to say the least. Somebody is now dead. That's all I'll say. I did not read the synopsis of this book before I went into it. I just heard good reviews and said, based on the books that I liked, that I would like this. They were very much, in fact, right. So I didn't know what was actually going to happen in this book. I'm obsessed with Josh. He is just the funniest character ever. Nothing about the topics in this book should be funny, and they're not. But the way it's handled and the way the author writes it just makes it so funny, and the way the characters communicate with each other is hilarious. He treats her cat like his child. So he's constantly calling himself daddy and saying like, mummy and daddy need alone time now, and like talking to the cat like it's a kid. I'm absolutely loving it. But the stakes are definitely getting a lot higher, and I have a feeling that some very dark and dangerous things are about to happen. I do in fact have some updates. First of all, I have finished Lights Out. This was so fun. Masked stalker romance, touch her and die vibes, very spicy. I think this is just the perfect book to get readers into dark romance. Because this is a dark rom-com, there is humour in the darker topics, so it makes it a little bit lighter and probably not as intimidating as other dark romances could be. I definitely preferred the first half of the book more, like the anticipation of who is he? Obviously we know who he is, but Ali doesn't know who he is. Ali not knowing if he's going to hurt her, what he's going to do, who is he. So exciting, following along with the anticipation of things. And then we started venturing a little bit towards a mafia romance. I haven't, nor do I really plan on reading any sort of mafia books. But that's where we started going with this. So I didn't enjoy the second half as much as the first half, but overall it was really enjoyable. The whole of the book was just hilarious. The tension between the two main characters. Then we had the whole anticipation of a murder and whether they're going to get caught. The banter was great. He was so boy obsessed. Just an incredible, dark, rom-com, silly little read. 4.5 stars. Then I also listened to an audiobook. I listened to The Inmate by Freida McFadden. I have probably said it a million times, but I work nights, so I can't physically read when I'm at work, but I do get to listen to a lot of audiobooks. I feel like Freida McFadden is very hit and miss for me. Absolutely loved The Housemaid. Every single second of that book just had me enthralled. Every single book I've read by her since then has been very middle of the road. The story was gripping. I loved the now and then timeline, and when the suspense grew, we flipped back or flipped forward, constantly like, oh my god, what happened? What's going to happen? That kept me on the edge of my seat. But while I didn't guess the plot twist, I also wasn't that surprised or thrilled by it. I feel like there could have been a lot more done with the story, and the whole back and forth of he did it, she did it, he didn't do it, he might have done it, just got a little bit annoying. And the further we got into the book, the more obnoxious and irritating the main character became. She started really, really annoying me. I probably won't think of it ever again. It passed the time. I got another book in, but I'm only giving it 2 stars. Wasn't that great. Probably wasn't the worst thing I've ever read, but overall just not one of the best things ever. And then I was really struggling to pick what else I'm going to read in this video. So I put a poll in the bestie group chat and I used little emojis to see what I should read next. For the first book I put a little grey silver heart and a sword, and then the second book I put a blue heart and a horse. So the first book is actually Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I have seen this book everywhere. It's a new, I think, romantasy. I'm not sure if it's part of a series. I think it might be. This has just taken the whole of the internet by storm. Everyone has been reading this. Everyone's been loving it from what I've seen. And then the second book was Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is the first book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I just love a little yeehaw, fun time, cowboy romance, and I really couldn't pick between the two. So I let the besties choose. So Quicksilver actually won by 70% and Done and Dusted got 30%. So the next book we will be reading in this video is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. And I am so excited to finally read this. I am now 100 pages into Quicksilver. First of all, look at this naked hardback. That is just the most beautiful thing ever. Anyway, I'm now 100 pages in. We are following Ceres, who is mortal, but possesses some sort of magical powers that are dangerous to her in the mortal realm. She's not supposed to have them, but she can wield metal. I'm not sure if that's correct. She lives in the third, which is a part of her realm that is basically left to just die, essentially. And she has stolen something from one of the Queen's guards and has been sent to the palace to be murdered, essentially, to be executed. And she has found herself in the Fae realm. She was rescued by our male main character, who is Fae. His name is Kingfisher. What a name for a male character. Where is this sexy, dark-haired Fae male name? What kind of a name is Kingfisher? I'm sure we'll get to his name and the importance of it throughout the story, but at first glance, not a fan of it. He is a bad person. I don't really know. And because Ceres has opened this portal to the realm, she is to stay there and learn about their politics and their etiquette. I don't know. There's a whole lot of world building and characters being introduced right now. It's a little bit confusing, but you get right into the story from the first page. I was instantly hooked on the story. I've not been able to put it down. but so far I am really enjoying it. Hopefully we can finish it in this video. I've got about 10 hours left. I'm also still getting to grips on this new camera setup, so I'm really sorry if the colours and the editing are a little bit all over the show. New technology is difficult for her, so you'll have to bear with me. At least I have a new camera and we're no longer filming on my phone, which thank God, because I was so over that shit. All of that to say, really enjoying the book, gonna keep reading, and hopefully in the next 10 hours we can get it done. He reminds me so much of Damon Salvatore. He's so mean and foul-mouthed and so sarcastic. She was like, should we knock? And he's like, oh yeah, sure, then boots the door down and goes, knock knock. I really like him, but he's so mean. Who am I to not like a morally grey, mean character? I don't like how this is about to go down at all. I have officially finished Quicksilver. I have seen so many mixed reviews of this, and a lot of them are giving this book so much hate, and I don't understand why. This was probably the easiest 5 stars I've ever given. So in this book we're following Ceres, and she has been taken to the palace to be executed for thievery. While she's there, she magically opens this portal to the Fey realm, where she's rescued by Broody Foul Mouth, Shadow Daddy, Kingfisher. It didn't take a lot at all for me to get hooked on this book. Probably from the first page, I was like, I'm going to eat this up. Now, hear me out. It did feel very copy and paste from a lot of other romantasy series, a lot of other enemies to lovers romances. So I understand where people are coming from when they say it's very repetitive from other stories. Mortal girl finds herself in a fae realm with this shadow daddy, broody, fae male who hates her, blah, 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 blah. But there's a reason that I love those types of books. And there's a reason that I rate all those books so highly. Are they probably going to get repetitive eventually? Yeah, maybe. But until then, I'm going to continue eating the same copy and paste story. I think the magic system was explained really well in my opinion. Listen, I've not got the biggest brain ever when it comes to fantasy books. I kind of switch off, and until the romance is going, I kind of don't care most of the time. I think the magic in this was explained really well. It wasn't difficult for me to understand, even with my little noggin. I just loved every single second of this. I was giggling, kicking my feet. I was bawling my eyes out, as you saw. Just everything about this book was absolutely perfect to me, and I am so unbelievably excited to start the second book when it comes out. I fear I cannot wait until then. Callie Hart, please. You're not watching this, but please, if you are, I need the second book immediately. I think this has been pretty successful. Started off the video with Lights Out. Wonderful, hilarious, dark rom-com. Absolutely ate it up. Gave that one 4.5 stars. And I listened to the audiobook of The Inmate by Freida McFadden. Wasn't my favourite. Wasn't anything special. I think I gave that one 2 stars. Never going to think about it again. In fact, I only listened to it a few days ago. Already couldn't tell you what it was about or what happened. Didn't really care all that much. Then we read Quicksilver. Absolutely ate that shit up. I love that book. I definitely think next time I do a 24-hour readathon, we're gonna have to just get the ball rolling and do it for 24 hours straight, because there's no way that I've made 24 hours last. Days at this point, probably nearly a week. I don't know how long it's been. I feel like I've been doing this challenge forever. So that is it for this video. I'm so glad you joined me. Thank you for being here. If you would like to see my face again, stick around, show some love, and I will see you very soon.